No, I gotta get out of the flow.
Oh, then get out.
I'm in the flow. That's what got me here. I'm 26 years old. I got nothing to show.
You're young.
Greetings, fellow mortals. Just a reminder, saying it's just my opinion is for cowards. I'm not gonna lie here, I have about -2 levels of interest in Star Wars at the moment. But we live in a world where new content is constantly coming out. And they're all focused on the same time period, fighting the Empire or during the time of the Republic. Now, I know that Andor was a bit different, but it's still in the same time period. The series is stuck telling stories about these same two periods, about the same exact things happening over and over and over again. Rebellion or the incompetence of the Jedi. Yes, once again, I know that Andor is different, but it's stuck in the same time period. That's the point. In a galaxy far, far away with a wide time frame to pull from, you can jump around thousands of years, make entirely new systems and worlds, different factions, something besides the same story in the same time over and over and over again. People will go blah 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 woke this, blah 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 woke that. I don't care. Make it all women of color for all I care. As long as the story is good and it's something different, please just skip a few centuries ahead, post Skywalker. No more Skywalker, no more Republic, no more Empire. Please, I'm begging you, Disney. If you're going to have people put out ghost fires in space and have children using the Force, which I hated in the prequel and I hate it now, but at least do something original around stupid. Forget the extended universe that you already own. I know that you just erased that from history. Just rip off Star Trek, Mass Effect, and Final Space. They're not doing anything with their ideas anymore. Might as well rip them off. You're Disney. You can get away with it. You're basically Mr. Burns. Just go with it.
Sir, the actors are here to audition for the part of you.
Excellent.
Exactly.
Go!
I bet you think that I'm just gonna sit here and complain and say that the prequels are good. Well, I'm not. Those were bad. There has not been any consistent good films since the original trilogy. I know Rogue One is okay, but still. The point of this video is to show that there are plenty of ideas that you could pitch that would get Star Wars out of the funk that it's been in since before I was born. The first thing that comes to mind is following a random street urchin that just so happens to be talented with the Force. Let's make it an Indian woman just because. She discovers her powers at a young age, but then realizes that it's slowly corrupting her. So she sets a code of ethics for herself, lines that she refuses to cross. This actually works for her during a short period of time. She grows to be a big shot in her city because of her powers, even though her eyes turn amber and dark veins start appearing on her body. But then she's discovered by both the Jedi and the Sith, both of whom are fighting for her allegiance, her morality, and her soul. As time goes on, the woman starts breaking the rules, showing that there is no gray side of the Force and that the dark side will always corrupt if you let it in. Or there can be a new rebel force, the Revolution, and their goal is to eradicate all Force users in the universe. This can be set hundreds of years after Rey Palpatine establishes a new Jedi Order. The Revolution notes that both sides of the Force always end up hurting innocent people during their struggles, which would be a fair point. But we immediately see that these people are in the wrong because they flatline any child with any affinity with the Force whatsoever. They're a giant militia with thousands of people, and they're all nuts. And the threat is so vast that the Jedi and the Sith are forced to temporarily team up to stop them. Oh, here's another one. Two massive corporations are fighting over a solar system's resources. A team of Jedi has to keep the peace. They want to protect the innocents, but can't take sides without instigating a corpo war. And being the enemy of both organizations would mean their end because both sides would work to slaughter the Jedi. But here's the thing. There's no Sith in this story. Just straight up heroes trying to find a moral conclusion to a very gray situation where everyone makes choices around them and most of the decisions are very bad. You know, this could be actually something that's interesting for once. Instead of fight the Empire, oh, the Jedi Order is secretly bad. Oh, that's so boring. Can we move on to something different, please?
Oh, it's so obvious. I would have never thought of that.
And just to put my money where my mouth is, here's more. Jedi need to fight an interdimensional demon threatening their whole universe. Random people on a planet need to defend themselves from Sith invaders without Jedi help. A smuggler finds himself in the middle of a large-scale battle between the Jedi and the Sith, only to discover that they are both after his package, a list of names of possible Force-sensitive children. And so on and so forth. I could sit here and list ideas all day. I could make outlines. Hell, I could do quick, rough drafts. This isn't difficult stuff. I don't know why they're using such stale concepts and throwing away all of their twists at the very start, all the while blowing out their budget. Really, it's pretty simple. Just do small budget, low stake projects. Write interesting characters. Put in cute creatures. Merchandise the hell out of it. Toys, hats, shirts, small mobile game tie-ins, limited collectibles, books and comic versions of the same story. There you go. You have a profit. This isn't that difficult. Small risk, big reward. Do different stories at different points in time. I know that the really OG fans and the super nerds are very nostalgic, but guess what? You're constantly antagonizing them anyway. I don't have a problem with that, but it's what you're doing. If you're gonna do that, why not just move on to a different period of time and tell different stories? This is an infinite universe that we're talking about here. Not everything needs to be set in a 50-year period. I feel like we're in a time loop here, which could actually be a story for Star Wars. Edge of Tomorrow, but a Jedi has to find their inner peace to close the loop. There you go, another idea. Be different, be a bit weird, why not? What do you have to lose? There's no reason for all of this gray paste. Have you seen The Acolyte? I was stunned by how boring it is. Like, yes, some of it is pretty stupid, but explosions happen in the void all the time in this universe and we don't question it. It's more that every twist is revealed immediately and then people take the longest path possible to get where they're going. It's just so uninteresting because Star Wars is in the same position that it has always been. It's going to continue no matter what. So be different than what George Lucas made it. Because there's no option right now of not being aware of what happens in Star Wars. And if you're going to make me be aware of everything happening in your shows and movies, then please be interesting. Look, you're effectively making fan fiction no matter what. Just separate yourself from Lucas's constraints. The reason people love Star Wars is the whimsy and the imagination it promises. Instead of making stupid new lightsaber weapons, put the Jedi in unique situations, something that tests their resolve. Use the infinite possibilities of your universe. You can do any type of genre you want. Because if you don't, then you're just limiting the potential of the series, and that's just boring. Star Wars is stuck, and pulling it out of its funk isn't as difficult as people make it out to be. You don't have to go to the past. We need to leave those versions of it behind. Let's get different and put some distance from what George Lucas made. It's the only way to the future and the only way I can stop hearing about all of this stupidity. I'm not anti-woke. I'm very pro female characters and LGBT plus characters, but please put some good writing in this stuff for once. Otherwise, it's going to just continue to be two different sides throwing insults at each other. One side that hates everything and one side that loves everything and will defend it to the death, when in truth, there's a bunch of things that need to be fixed. You're welcome to disagree with all this. That's fine. After all, everyone is entitled to their objectively wrong opinion.
Look at this place. I mean, what is the theme here? Underwater? It's boring!
Thank you all so much for watching.
You're still here?
Good night, everybody.
Thank you. You bye. Boom.
Do not despair.